Maitland here from Training with Mates. I'm here to explain today that there is no such thing as a bad exercise. There are so many apps and internet programs out there available for people to engage in, without any knowledge or understanding of how to do the exercises properly. And this is often when injuries and mistakes can happen and people get hurt. So things such as compound lifts, particularly squats, often get a bad rap for hurting people, and that they should be avoided. But realistically, squats are super important exercise that you should be doing. And often people that have lower back pain, knee pain, ankle issues or shoulder issues, might avoid squatting. But there's so many different ways to do a squat. There's a half squat, full squat, front squat, kettlebell squat, counter movement squat that target different things, and when they're used at the right time for what you're capable of, then it's going to work a lot better than just doing something that you don't know how to do that you've seen. So injuries often occur for three main reasons: lack of exercise knowledge, secondly overloading the muscles incorrectly, and the third thing is setting unrealistic goals within an unrealistic time frame. So just a reminder that squats are not causing your knee pain, for example, or your lower back pain, or making it any worse. The way that you perform them, the way that you perform the squat and how you perform it in terms of the reps and sets, how often you do it, how much you load your squats up, how rapidly you progress your training program. It's often these things that you do incorrectly without advice or without the right way that can cause you problems. So what I've done today is 4 different small tips of squat variations and things that you can do to add into your squat and different techniques for what suit you and your body type, to help improve not only your squat but also your body. Often some of these create a feedback loop to your body that reminds you, how to stick to form while you're under fatigue, and really help you with, ultimately improving, strength performance and glute activation and glute strength. So here are the 4 tips. The first one is going to be the back squat. Second one is going to be a goblet squat. Then we're going to go into a counter movement squat and a front squat. So stay tuned. So the back squat. Basically what we're going to do is we're going to add in a thing called a TheraBand, a small micro band to start with, just above the knees when you perform the back squat. What this does is it aims to stimulate your glute med and activate it whilst you're doing your squat. It also teaches you with a feedback loop to keep your knees open, which is often associated with lower back pain, with knee pain. So coming in, your normal back squat position, coming off, keeping your knees open, feet just past shoulder width, and making sure that it's always keeping your knees open. You'll feel that activate your glute med, which is your lateral component of your glutes, when you're squatting from the knee. So quite often that can help people with knee problems and remind them to keep the knees open. The second tip is related to the goblet squat and elevating your heels. So increased heel elevation will allow for people with poor dorsiflexion, which is most prominent at the end of a squat, and often associated, poor dorsiflexion is often associated with lower limb issues and injuries. So by elevating the heels and increasing the range of dorsiflexion, or minimising, the range of dorsiflexion, then it'll allow you to get into a deeper squat position, thus utilising your glutes more and performing better technique. So by using something like this, or you can use weight plates, conk your feet, your heels up, and you perform your squat, allowing you to... So the third type of squat and the squat technique that we're going to use is the front squat. Basically the whole idea of this one is, instead of the crossover technique that people use to hold the bar, we're going to go with the standard powerlifting technique. Okay, so the reason why we do this is because the crossover technique can lead to imbalances, which can cause structural alignment issues and place load on different areas that we don't want to. So just following me, we're going to get into the normal powerlifting technique that we want. So coming in here with the fingers, placing the bar on the shoulders in a squat position, and then squatting down, keeping your elbows up like so. So that's just a tip. Instead of doing the crossover technique, is to perform a standard powerlifting technique. If you have other issues with getting into that position, there are a heap of different things that you can do to improve that. The final exercise tip that we're going to use for squatting is a counter resistance technique that we like to use for people that may have a weak core, may have issues with their lumbar spine, with their flexion and extension, and often people that are struggling to get to depth. So with this weight, a dumbbell weight, similar to a goblet squat, we're going to squat down. As we squat down, the weight comes forward, which forces us to use our core and our back and keep us in a more neutral position, and then coming back up. All right, so nice and controlled, coming out as the weight goes forward, places less load on the lumbar spine, and will help you to really develop a nice technique there. So 4 main tips. Back squat, use a TheraBand to help you with your knee distribution. Second one is your goblet squat, prop your heels up, help you with increased depth if you're struggling with increased depth. Third one, instead of the crossover technique, use the powerlifting technique. And the fourth one, as just shown, the counter resistance squat to help with improving your core and helping people with lower back issues. So thank you. Remember, there is no such thing as a bad exercise. Just make sure you treat it to use things more specifically to what is required for you.